My brother. Nice to meet you.
Very nice meeting you as well.
Right.
In fact, we met before.
Jared Polis.
No.
You didn't support Jared? Then what are we talking? I'm leaving. Jared is my favorite member of Congress, and I was campaigning for him. And he's the new member of Congress from Boulder. And he's a great educator. And he was the youngest school board member. And he's a pride and joy of the new Congress. So.
And you're going to be visiting Colorado very shortly on your book tour.
Oh, we're in Colorado.
No, we're in.
We're in. I thought we were tomorrow. Tomorrow. I love you tomorrow. I'm only a day early.
In fact, it is a day early because you're going to be in Colorado very shortly. You've been on a whirlwind tour. You were in California today.
Yes.
Colorado
tomorrow. I was in Portland 3 days ago. I was in New York the day before, but that's not unusual. What's unusual?
I needed to print out your 3 pages of itinerary. So if you can't keep it straight, yeah.
Well,
I mean, Washington D.C. all the way, Dallas, Milwaukee, Madison, St. Louis, Bridgewater. Then you're back east.
Yeah. Well, something important has happened. That you in the world of books, in the world of music, in the world of culture, should, I think, note. And there hasn't been an article about it specifically, but I think what is happening is that the music that was so popular in the 1960s, music and folk music and music that's like folk music and somewhat derived from it, that hasn't had a place of real focus in the media for a long time. It's not played on the radio except unless you go to that folk station, and whereas it in the early 60s it dominated the musical airwaves, and it was so important a part of the movements, the civil rights movement and the peace movement and the women's movement and the environmental movement. But now it's kind of music is all big bucks, and it's partially for that reason, not just because you could download music and reproduce it digitally, but because the people running that are not terribly engaged in the idea of music as a way for the culture to affirm itself and to move forward with its hopes and dreams. But now with the conjunction of a book and a CD, all of a sudden we sold close to 900,000 copies of Puff. And people said, wow. Because in this world, if you sell 1 million anything, I don't care if you're a member of Congress, or if you're a professor in college, or even a folk singer, you become a rock star. So here I am at the age of 71, because we've almost sold 1 million of something. Could be mousetraps for all I know. And when you realize that, and you're in my position, you realize that you can create something that emerges from that. You take advantage of that occurrence and say, well, we're going to create other books. And now there are 3 books, and there will be a 4th, of collections of 12 songs apiece. First one, favorite folk songs, sleepy time songs for the little ones, and now songs to sing together. And now there's another book all on its own of the Song Day is Done. But the important thing to realize here, and this is the big secret, is that these songs are all available for downloading free to anybody who's a teacher or a camp counselor or an educator or an administrator or a person who's working with kids who are troubled or have special needs or special gifts. Go to operationrespect.org, download them for free. You don't have to buy anything. And at this point, we've got over 40 songs. And when people sing these songs, as I'm going to be singing them here, guess what happens? The same thing has happened at the March on Washington in 1963, when we sang where Dr. Martin Luther King delivered his I Have a Dream speech. All of a sudden, community is articulated, is formed, is crystallized. And when that happens, what is the natural result? The people who have felt apart are drawn to each other. And instead of pushing away, and they say, I don't like you because I don't like your eyeglasses. And you say, I don't like you because you're bald, and you've got a big nose, you must be Jewish. And I'm saying, I don't like you because I would never wear a collar like that, or whatever. Or you're gross. Or all this pushing away of people in the way children do, and much worse the way adults do, when they bully each other, and countries, our country having gone from one of the most respected and beloved countries to the most excoriated and perceived as the most threatening nation in the world. How did that happen? How does it happen that we become, as human beings, instead of embraced, we become feared, either as individuals or as a country? And what does that have to tell us about a world that has a bruised heart and is very frightened?
Peter,
Yes.
why do you take this so personal? I know your mother was a school teacher.
Yes.
That's when you and I first met, and it was 25 years ago, 26 years ago. You went to East Catholic High School in Manchester, Connecticut, and you performed in front of the whole auditorium. I'm surprised you don't recognize me. I was third row up, geeky young man, very skinny, 5'6".
But you
recognize me now.
You knew my mother? Really? You did know my
No,
mother?
but I met you through your music when you were at the auditorium.
My mother was a teacher.
Yeah.
Why do I take it so personally? Artists generally have a certain kind of sensitivity that's unusual. That's what, in a certain way, generates the vulnerability that's needed to create, where you are in touch with a part of yourself that other people are not necessarily able to find. And that sensitivity can be turned into either as an artist, the capacity to communicate something with depth, but if as a person it's translated into something else, it can go in one of a couple of ways, or many ways. You can become afraid of your audience. You've seen artists like that who are just they don't trust the relationship between them and other people because the public attention has made them crazy. Bob Dylan, case in point.